Good evening. Tonight we welcome Julie from Everton's Fan Advisory Board. Let's kick off by asking, how has your day been so far?
It's been very busy, Adam. I've been working, but I did manage to fit in some time to walk my dogs out in the storm. You know what the weather's like
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
So a good day, yes.
nice. What is the purpose of the Everton Fan Advisory Board?
So the fan advisory board, every club in the Premiership and also in the other leagues, eventually has to have a fan advisory board in
Hmm.
accordance with the a new regulator has just been appointed. So in 2022, when six breakaway clubs started to try and form a European Super League,
Yeah,
and the fans came out on the streets to stop it happening, showed the power of of what fans can do when they put their minds together and their hearts together. Um, the government came out and said this is not good enough. The clubs are not consulting fans. They need to consult fans. So they put together a group of people who did a who consulted and wrote a report saying that that was the fan led review, and saying that they needed to be fan advisory boards for all of the clubs. So we are Everton's fan advisory board. There are 11 of us, and 5 of us are elected directly by fans. I'm one of those,
yeah,
and 6 are part of groups like Everton Disabled Supporters, Everton Historical Society, Fans Forum, etc.
yeah, nice. What made you want to join, and how long have you been on the board for?
What made me want to join? I just saw it come up. It came in an email to me from Everton saying we are going to be starting a fan advisory board. Would you be happy to go on it? Would you want to apply? And I was living miles away down south. I
Yeah,
moved to London when I was 21. I now live back up in the north, but I only moved back last year. So I was living down in the south, and I was coming up for all of the games. Every game I was coming up for. Um, and so I was quite remote. I didn't
yeah,
get to know a lot of fans because of that, but I still have family and friends who went to the match. So I used to come up to the match. So I've been on for 4 years now, since
wow.
day one. And on the first day, I got elected as the secretary of the FAB. Um, this is my last season now. I'll be got after the end of this season in June. I move on and let somebody else come and take over. We're always looking for new FAB members every year in May, and we desperately, really, really want younger people to apply to come onto the FAB. So I'll move on after this season, but it's been 4 happy years. Yeah.
Nice. I'll be sad to see you go.
Oh.
Um, how often do you meet up with the members club board of directors?
Right. For the FAB, just the 11 of us, we meet every month, and we do that online via Teams. And
Yeah,
then every quarter or every 3 months, we meet with the club. So we go
yeah,
to the historic place to sit. Obviously, you surrounded by photos of fabulous players that you've watched all of your life,
yeah,
and you know all the fabulous players who've sat in that room before you. Um, and Angus Kinnear, who's the CEO, is always at the meeting now, and other members of the club. You always somebody from fan engagement, and then they may also invite somebody along, say from stadium development or the women's football or the legal team, or the catering people. Somebody, if there's something we want to talk about, then the club will bring along a specialist for us to have at the meeting.
Okay. What has been the most challenging issue you have had to raise?
Several of them. It's always very, very difficult, and also uncomfortable if you have to go against it. Sometimes we have to issue a statement if fans are not happy about something that's going on with the club. We are there to represent fans, and we need to listen to fans. And in the dark days of the last few years, when fans weren't happy with the way the club was being run, and that kind of thing, and they weren't happy with somebody, say, for instance, they weren't happy with who wanted to come in and buy the club. We've got to represent the fans, and we would have had to put out a statement to say we're not happy. And the fans have told us we need to tell the club, and we need to make clear to the fans that we are representing them. And that's the important part. So that's always difficult to do, but we do it because we represent the fans. We don't work for the club. Some people think we work for the club. We don't work for the club. We work on behalf of the fans, but we work with the club.
Yeah. Okay. How open are they to your input, would you say?
Sometimes they take up suggestions that we make, and sometimes they won't. They always do listen. And that's what we're there for. We listen to fans, and we take all of those views to the club. There's important things they listen to us. Say, for instance, when we were moving to the new stadium, and there was going to be some debate about how much the tickets were going to cost, and we did make clear to the club. We said, we know it's a brand new stadium. We're all excited about moving there.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous facility, but people are going through a hard time financially at the moment. There was a cost of living crisis. So please consider that when you think about the ticket prices. And the club did consider that. So, and they I don't say that they take on every single one of our suggestions. But that's the way things work when you're part of a group representing one group and you're meeting another group. So they do take on some things and they don't take on others. That's just the way it is.
Okay. I've been asked to raise some things to you by some of my followers on Instagram, on social media, and my family. About the 1878, I've requested funding to do more displays and fans chipped in throughout Goodison. Can the club help out?
I hope so. I've seen what you've seen on the social media. 1878 do a fantastic job, and I know that the club like and appreciate what they do. I don't know what's going on in the background because I'm not part of the 1878s and they would be speaking directly to the club. But I very much hope that the club, I would think everybody on the FAB would very much hope that the club can help out the 1878. We all think they do a fabulous job.
Yeah, especially. Then I was asked about having we an international, the international of getting a striker in January.
Would you repeat that? Sorry, Adam.
So basically, have we any idea of getting a striker in January?
Oh, striker. I hope so. The what happens on the pitch and the team and the player is not part of what we are there for. We're there to go and talk to the club about strategy, about say merchandising, about them moving to the new ground.
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
like that. However, yes, I hope they will. I don't know whether they're going to. I would personally, I'm not speaking for the Fab, just for Julie here, I would have him back tomorrow. I would have Richarlison back tomorrow. Yeah. Please come back if you want to. Always welcome. So yes.
Okay. Right. I've got another one on Hill, Dickinson, Branley Moor. Parking and road closure are causing major disruption, taking over an hour to get out of areas. Is anything going to be done to ease that? That was said if that could be raised.
Right.
Do the club know about it?
Yeah. Before we moved to Bramley Moor, a whole group of us from different fan groups and the council and the club and Merseyrail and Mersey Travel, everybody, we all met. We had a couple of meetings beforehand and we were all able to put our views across, and we were able to reflect what we'd been told. It's never going to be perfect. It's in an older part of town that has not traditionally had this much. It's never been this busy on Regent Road. I hope that what they have in place now, where they close the roads and close some of the roads going off, personally, I hope that's not going to last ongoing. I think it might be that is until people get used to it. Whether that lasts or not, the other thing is, with people getting to the ground and having to park or go into town or go to Sandhills and walk up. I drive myself because I live quite a long way away, and I have to drive to the ground and I have to find somewhere to park. So I'm in the same boat as some other people who've got to find somewhere to park. And you're right, it does take a long time as well to at night. I'm finding now that I've done it 4 or 5 times that I'm finding it a little bit easier each time. It takes less time because you get to know which way you can go, which lanes to be in. And also, there's a lot of people coming out, and there are bollards and for people to walk, and they need to be able to walk very safely. And sometimes it doesn't look safe. But then again, I used to drive along County Road, and it was the same. But fans will be running across, so you can only drive very, very slowly. I think it will take some getting used to, and I think even maybe for the whole of this season, people will still be getting used to. But I know from my experience in the last 4 or 5 games I've been to, it is getting easier. It's always going to be a problem because also people have to live there as well. And they need to be able to park outside. And it was the same around Goodison. And I have to say, forgive me for mentioning, but it's the same around Anfield as well. The parking restrictions have still always been there for match days. It's always been difficult. And anywhere you go in the UK, and I go to other grounds, it's always difficult to park around a ground on match day. So I sincerely hope it will get easier. Well, I know it will get easier, but I hope that the restrictions will be less and less as time goes on.
All right, perfect. Are there any ideas on Everton and the Friedkins buying Nelson Docks? That was brought up a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know is the question. If they are going to do it, they haven't shared it with us. I would love them to buy the next door. I've gone sometimes over to when I've been on holiday in America, and you go to a football ground or a baseball ground or another sports ground. Next door, they've got these fabulous big arenas where you can go to eat and drink, and they've got children's play areas and all sorts. They call them box parks, I think, or something. Ballpark Village, they call them. I'd quite like to see that. I would like them to to buy next door if they are able to.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for the rest of the fab here. But for me personally, I would love to see them having the space next door, so that we've got a lot more space to meet our friends and eat and drink, socialise before the match.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. Then one big one now is that there has been quite a lot of empty seats at the ground, and a lot are going on the release. Why is it that this is happening?
I noticed that. I actually sit in the east stand, so I look directly across at the stands with the hospitality. The fans can buy seats, and the club can sell seats, but they cannot force people to come to the match. It's unfortunate, and if people are not able to come to the match, that's unfortunate. I wish they could, and I wish if they can't, that somebody else could take those seats.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, we've got digital ticketing now, and there are good and bad parts to it, obviously, because people like me used to have a hard ticket, and you used to be able to pass it on to a family or friend. The bad part about that, the negative part about that, was that ticket touts could get hold of them, and there were tickets going. I mean, I know that when we were moving to Bramley-Moore, there were, I think even now, there's tickets for sort of £200 and £300.
Yeah.
And the last game at Goodison, even on the Southampton game, you will know there were tickets ludicrous for over £1,000, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I can see why the club and all clubs are trying to stop ticket touts. But there's good and bad consequences of that. The consequences of it are that if some people can't pass a ticket on, then seats will go empty, and it's unfortunate. It's not nice to see. It might be, I think, perhaps maybe some people who've bought a ticket this year for the first year will realise now that it's not going to be as easy as they thought it could be to pass on. And those people may not buy tickets next year. People who bought them thinking they could easily pass them on are probably understanding now how much more difficult it is to pass them on. I don't think we're going to go back to the good old days where we had a ticket and you could give it to your brother or your sister or your aunt or your uncle, and they could go in your place. And I understand why, but in some cases it's unfortunate. We can all use most people can use the resale platform. Some people can't, but they can transfer tickets onto people with a membership. But I know it's difficult, and I hear as well, I get people who write to me and say, I really need a physical ticket. I want a physical. I've always had one. Why can't I have one? Just a physical ticket instead of. But also, it's a Premier League rule as well, and that's coming in next year, that all clubs have got to be digital. So it's not just Everton that's making this decision. It's a rule, and Everton are one of 20 clubs. The Premiership works by having 20 shareholders, and they are the 20 clubs in the league. And as one gets demoted or three get demoted, 3 new ones come up, and they automatically as well become a shareholder. All 20 of those clubs have got to agree all of the rules every season. So it's not even, dare I say, it's not even just somebody at the Premier League deciding and that's it. It's all 20 clubs voting on it. Some of those rules we like and some we don't, but we live with them as we always have. We love our club and we want to go and watch the club. So that's what we do.
Okay. Is it that the fans are getting priced out?
In how you mean on those seats that are left empty? I don't know. Honestly, Adam, the seats that I see opposite me are the hospitality
Yeah.
If I look to the north stand and the south stand, I don't see lots of empty seats. I might be wrong there. I don't see them on those stands. But then again, I don't know how many seats there are in hospitality, so I don't know how many get left.
Mhm.
But it's difficult when we've got a Sunday game. I know people who are avid fans who've come to the match, every match for years, and they can no longer come to evening games. They can't, if they don't live in the city, they can't come to a nighttime game. Lots of people can't do it because it means they would miss work the next day or they've got to stop over. I travel very regularly with people that I met when I lived in London.
Yeah.
And some of them can come to the games and some of them can't. So let's not forget that there are also people who genuinely have bought a ticket and
Yeah.
want to use it, but they can't attend all games because we're getting more and more games played on a Monday night and midweek and Sunday and late on Sunday. And if people have to come from far away, they sometimes can't get a train home. Having said that, you are right. There are still seats that are bought and just not used, and that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And I wish it didn't happen.
Hmm. Yeah. And finally, with our last question, why does it take the club so long in getting back up to 20 working days for an email or over an hour on the phone?
Okay. Now I've asked this myself some weeks ago. I was
Yeah.
moaning at the club that I was trying to get an answer for something, and I got an email back saying 21 days. There's a couple of things there. I am told, and feel free to correct me, anybody, if they want to write to me, but I've been told the vast majority does not take 21 days. That's the maximum it can take. So you may be answered within a couple of days. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that there is the telephone line available as well. Now, I also get emails from people telling me they wait an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours for a phone to be picked up.
Yeah.
When I was phoning the box office for my new stadium season ticket,
Yeah.
I was on the phone for more than 2 hours. It was very frustrating. I know that. I've never spent longer than that, but I actually got somebody who wrote to me only yesterday and said, the timing of this is terrible. But I wrote back to them and I said, look, the ticket office will be, the staff and the fan services office will be at their busiest on match days. Unfortunately, most people need to ring up on match days, but if you've got a query that does not need to be on a match day, if you can ring them any other day. Also, it opens at 10 o'clock. So like the doctors, you have a huge, great big queue of people waiting to ring up, and they will wait longer. I know some people have got to go to work. If you could wait till your lunch hour, or you can wait till later on in the day. I'm very lucky. Some days I work from home, so I can phone up during the day. But I would say if you can, match days are the worst possible days to be ringing the office. If you've got to, you've got to. I understand that. But I think there must be quite a lot of queries that people ring up about where they don't need to call on the match day. If they do, then unfortunately they're going to have to wait in the queue, as I have had to, and all of us, because of the limited staff on there. And you may notice that when you do get through, I don't know how often you ring, I notice that when I do get through, they're very courteous and polite, and they don't take time and they don't rush. And I think it's a difficult balance for them because they want to treat you in a courteous and polite way. And that means not rushing you, but they also know they've got a whole load of other people waiting on. So
It's a hard one.
I say to this, every written query does not take 21 days. And if you can possibly ring when it's not a match day, or the day before, rather, usually is on a Friday, when it's not a day that the tickets have come out, If you're not phoning about getting a ticket, if you can ring later in the day or on a different day, it's usually easier. But no, 21 days is a very long time. I wish it wasn't that, but the club tells me some of the queries that they have to deal with, they've got to go out and find out the answers and then come back. So some might take that long. I wish it didn't.
Yeah, I sent an email last month to the football club and the fan engagement on getting Angus Kinnear on, and I still haven't even heard like back. And it said we've received it up to 21 working days, and I'm still waiting now. So I've just like left it in that.
You probably sent that email, Adam, while he was over in America.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if I did. Yeah.
Over there. I will let them know that you're waiting to hear on your for your response to that. I understand. There's a lot of people who want to interview Angus Kinnear.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things we want to say to Angus Kinnear, but we have to wait until our next meeting. So I understand the frustration there. I do get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for taking the time and coming on and speaking to me tonight. It was a very pleasure to meet you, Julie.
No worries. It was lovely to meet you. I've seen some of your other videos. I saw you interviewing Joe Parkinson.
Yeah.
I know you've interviewed Peter Reid. I haven't seen that yet, but thank you. You're doing a great show, Adam.
Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Then.
Do head to our YouTube channel, people. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. See you later. Up the toffees. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.